Hi, my name is Lillian Santangelo. I'm running for Ward 5 Councilor, and I thought it would be nice to take a few minutes to answer some questions that have come up during the course of the campaign. Well, I think it's time for a fresh perspective. I think the council's getting a little bit stale. I think it'd be nice to see some new ideas. And really, elections should be about choice. It really is not much of an election. There's not much democratic process happening when there's no choice at the polls. So I'd like to give the constituents of Ward 5 a different choice. It's a very different city, I think, than the one I grew up in. There's still some of the small town feel, which is one of the things I like about Waltham, but there are fewer venues for the children. It was a big loss to have the Wallex complex close. And it's great that the Connors Pool is coming back, but I remember as a child being able to go to that all the time. So those are some of the things. There's also there's a lot of development that wasn't there when I was a child. And some of it, I'm not sure, was always beneficial for the city. I think improvement in the city. I think a lot of the improvement in the city is some of the new schools that we have, the way they implemented the school program, building the new schools that were needed, renovating the schools that they were able to use, I think was tremendous. I see the technology that was put in place, and I think that's terrific. I think we could still, I think there could be further improvement. Okay. Well, I think that the traffic in the city can be an issue, and I realize it's going to be an issue no matter what you do, but I think we can improve some of the traffic patterns in the city. I think we could improve some of our services, maybe to our seniors, again, to the youth of the city. In communicating to the constituents of the city, I think the city could do a better job at times of letting the residents know what's available for them, what help is out there for them. Those things are important. Well, Ward 5 is a very unique ward. It's very different from the other wards. It starts at the Waltham-Watertown border at Gore Place, and it continues right across the heart of the city and extends almost all the way to the Western Line. So as you cross Ward 5, and the southern border is pretty much the Charles River, River Street, up to about Felton Street, and then it works its way up a little. But when you cross Ward 5, you start at Gore Place. Tremendous history in the city. I grew up in Warrendale. I used to go to Gore Place as a child all the time, all the time. I still go. I go to the Sheep Shearing Festival every year. I go to the concerts when I can. I'm a member of Gore Place. You continue, you're going to hit the Riverwalk, which is a wonderful recreational activity, a venue for families. You'll continue to the Charles River Museum of Industry at the Francis Cabot Lowell Mill. That's where the birthplace of the American Industrial Revolution took place. It's an amazing facility to go see. I often will, in event planning for my job, have events there because I want people coming into my city to see my city and my ward. You continue. City Hall is in Ward 5. The Common is in Ward 5. Think of the free concerts every Tuesday night in the summer. You know, the Latina Festival that happens every year. The Farmers Market is in Ward 5, and that runs on Saturdays from, it's 9:30 to 2:30. I think it's from the beginning of June or mid-June until early November. And it's a wonderful, wonderful farmers market. You continuing through Ward 5, you're going to come to Trinity Church. I believe that is the oldest church in Waltham. It was established 1820. And then you're going to come to Christchurch, nearly as old. I think that was established in 1840 or thereabouts. And the building from that is just beautiful. The stones from it were from the Payne estate. Robert Treat Payne was instrumental in that church having its current location. The post office is on the National Register of Historic Places. And then you continue through to Bank Square, and the ward ends about where the Bickfords and Main Street Ford property is located. So it's a tremendously diverse and history-filled ward that's the heart of Waltham. Well, I've seen Gary work. For example, he worked to prevent Lowe's from building at the old Raytheon property. And unfortunately, in doing that, BJ's came in and built by right. I think the residents are still somewhat happy with what they got, but I think it would have served the community better had a store like a Target or a Kohl's that was not a membership-driven store, that was not driven by bulk goods. I think it would have been a better use of that property. So I think in evaluating the city's needs, I don't think Gary has necessarily thought about what's best for the constituents as a whole. And that's important. That's what a city council should be doing. I look at that Waltham Ford Bickford's property every day. And it really, my neighbors and I call it the eyesore. There is a developer that's interested, and I think their proposal is a good one. It's a mixed-use plaza that would have an anchor store of, say, a specialty food market or a small breakfast and lunch restaurant, and then have 5 or 6 other stores that might be a hairdresser or a doctor's office or dentist's office. Maybe a Verizon or an AT&T storefront. Things that the local residents would shop at those businesses. They would frequent those businesses. And I think it would also put jobs. We would have jobs at that plaza. So we'd be putting people back to work. And I think it would be a good use rather than just an office building where you dump 200 people into that space for the day and then let them leave. Have it be something viable that the residents of the community can use and frequent. The most important thing I could influence in Ward 5 one thing would probably be that Bickford's and Waltham Ford, Main Street Ford property, because it really, we're losing city revenue by not having viable businesses in there. I think another thing that I can influence is there are surplus schools in all the school development that happened. I don't know all of what they are going to be purposed for, but Bank School and Bright School are certainly 2 buildings that are in Ward 5 that I would be called on to make suggestions to evaluate what their purpose will be. The frustrations that I get around the city are, as I watch City Council and I read in the Tribune, it seems to take forever for projects to move through. It's constantly stalled, constantly tabled, constantly delayed. And it's not only frustrating for me, it's frustrating for everyone in the city. And many of these people aren't as, I want to say, involved or not as aware, don't know how to get the information, so it doubles their frustration. I think another frustration that I have is I've seen my taxes go up. And there are times when I don't think the services that are provided match that. And Waltham certainly does a very good job providing services. We have free trash pickup. A lot of communities don't. We don't pay for play sports. We don't have parents paying for their children to take a bus to school. But by the same token, we outsource a lot of our services. And when I watch, for example, the plowing that takes place in the winter, when it's the municipal workers, they do a dynamite job. When it's the private contractors, I see them undoing some of the good work the municipal workers have done. So I question why we're outsourcing this if we have municipal workers that do a good job. If there are not enough, then we need to address how they get better equipment, how this needs to work on the limited budget we have. I like the current mayor very much. I support Jeanette McCarthy very much. I think the frustration with her and the council is that they appear not to see eye to eye. And I think it damages the effectiveness they could have because there don't seem to be enough times when they are willing to find a compromise, find a way to work together. Again, we have the delays, we have frustration, we have the future of the city not moving forward, not being addressed. So I'd like to find a way to get the council and the mayor closer and on the same page a little bit more often. Be more responsive. I think I already am more responsive than the current counselor. You can go on my website and you can look up events going on in the ward. You can find out the things that I'm doing in the ward. You can look up the history of the ward. There is a contact form on my website that you can fill out. So in addition to the fact that you could email me, you could just do it right from the website if you have a question. You can comment on my blog. If you pick up the campaign phone, which is 781-49 Ward 5, if I can't answer the phone, it will go to voicemail, the campaign voicemail. It will immediately send me an email in the campaign email. So even if I can't get to the phone, but I'm at my computer, I can be checking and responding, and I have been. I have had people, as I've gone and knocked on doors around the city or been at different events around the city, have asked me questions or addressed concerns that they would like to see someone respond. And I've been doing that. I was emailing with constituents today. I was talking with a constituent on the phone yesterday evening. So I think in that regard, I'm already being more responsive. I've said to people, you know what? If I'm home, come knock on my door. I want to talk to you because I need to be your voice. I want you to have a voice that is listening to you and bringing your concerns to the city council. That's what this city needs. Well, I hope I will see you out and about. I'm knocking on doors every single weekend, but for a few that I go camping. I do a lot of camping. So that's where I get my little peace and quiet to recharge myself to do this. But I do hope to see you out there. I do want you to pick up the phone and call me. I want you to email me because I want to know what's on your mind. That is what will make me an effective city councilor for you. Thank you so much for your time. I'd like you to consider voting for me on November 8th. I think it'll be a good choice for you, and it'll be a good choice for the city. Thank you.